All right, this is a comment, or actually a response to a post I got from Blackberry, aka Low Place. All right, all right. This is what he had to say. You know the reason how I know it's you, Low Place, with that Blackberry Coast account. You know why I know it's you? Because on that hangout yesterday, you called me Daniel, and what's funny about that is that Blackberry called me Daniel. He calls me that. So, what a coincidence. What a coincidence. All right. So anyways, this is what you had to say. You said here, quote, first, when a negotiation fails and it's not you're not the cause of the fault, why take responsibility if the blame is from the other camp? Why? Well, if you thoroughly listen to my video, Low Place, I said that Donna Stevenson needs to take responsibility for some of the negotiations that fell through. Okay, for example, with the Kovalev fight, when the preliminary process begun, he needs to take responsibility for that because he admits, well, not he, but his his promoter admitted that they have avoided the Kovalev fight to go off to another network to pursue a bigger fight and a 2-fight, 3-fight deal, whatever it was, for more money. They've admit that. So he's responsible for why that Kovalev fight didn't get made on HBO. He's part of that problem, okay? 2, he is responsible for the Hopkins situation. He backed a chance to make that fight. He didn't want to agree to the terms, and he backed out of it, which his management openly admitted, or his promoter openly admitted as well, because they accused Hopkins of being greedy. All right. 3, Jean Pascal situation. He refused to negotiate with Pascal to give him a higher split than he was set for as a mandatory challenger. Okay. All Pascal wanted was a 40% split. Stevenson didn't want to budge on it. He wanted to play the A side on that. He wanted to dictate all the terms, and then backfired on it because Pascal was approached by Kovalev and his team, and then they sealed the deal. All right. So he has to be responsible for that. Okay. Now, as far as the Joe Smith Jr. situation, no. And I know Gus said he reached out to Joe LaGuardia, who's Joe Smith's promoter, and they were asking for a 50-50 split, and that's the reason why Stevenson backed out, because he didn't want to give it to him. Okay, fine. I mean, yeah, I can understand where Stevenson's coming from. The fact is that he backed out of the negotiations, and that's why that fight didn't get made. Okay? Now, what's the other one I could mention now that he should be responsible for? Oh, yeah, the Sean Monahan fight. Why did that fight fall through, huh? Although he paid Elite Alvarez step-aside money to pursue that fight. Okay. Well, here's the backstory behind that. Now, I know Low Place mentioned that the reason why that fight didn't go through because Stevenson got upset because he was going to get a lower split. And then the fact that he didn't want to fight this dude, blah, 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 because of it. Okay, fair enough. It's also due to the fact that he couldn't get a TV deal. All right? He couldn't get a TV deal. No network was willing to sign on for that fight. And that's the reason why they were struggling to get that fight sealed and delivered. They had to push it back until they can acquire a TV deal. That's very funny. I thought Stevenson was a man. I thought anybody he could fight he can get some type of TV deal for. It is what it is. But the fact is that he should have fought a top tier opponent than a goddamn Sean Monahan, and that's the reason why he's at fault for that, because he didn't give the networks what he want in that situation. Although Showtime agreed to give him the Far rematch. Interesting. But the fact is that yeah, he needs to be held liable for that as well. Okay. Now, as me being objective here, I will not hold him liable for why Kovalev ducked the purse bid, okay? However, again, I will hold him liable for why he ducked Kovalev the first time. That's what I said. So you have to really, really have a very, very simple and logical understanding of the things I say, okay? Now, what else did you go on to say here? Because you left a long-ass paragraph. All right. You said why, but you said Stevenson should take responsibility, which I've already made that case. Why doesn't make any sense? It does make any sense. So if you listen to what I just said in the beginning of this video, then go back to it. It's not because fans want him to be responsible that he is. I'm sure I don't have to teach you that logic and feelings. That doesn't mix it well. Actually, you can't teach me anything because you don't understand logic. Just like Low Place, because you don't understand the logic. It's simple logic, as I say. You don't comprehend simple logic. You can't give a fighter credit for fights that didn't get made because he's being allegedly ducked, which is not the case, number one. Number two, you can't crown him king even though he hasn't done anything of significance over the last 4 years. So that's simple logic that you cannot understand. Even a 5-year-old can understand simple logic that you cannot award a guy something that he hasn't done for a very long period of time. Okay? That's like giving a blanket award. All right? So, let's go here. What else did you say? Well, your brain will always say, wait a minute, while your heart will always say, let's go. No, that's not the case. Maybe you should follow that logic. Now, get yourself together, man. No, you need to get yourself together. Second, God gave you the discernment to see things with your mind and understand what's happening around Adonis Stevenson. Yeah, this actually is a low place because, first of all, you're speaking spiritual logic. Because low place also uses spiritual logic when it comes to this so-called Adonis Stevenson curse. Because whenever someone crosses Adonis Stevenson in a negative way as low place see fit, he always goes into this, oh, you see? Like, for example, he put out this stupid-ass video about John and Pascal having legal problems, and he's citing this so-called Adonis Stevenson curse as being responsible for that. Yeah, you see where I'm going with this? When you bring up the word God, you see where I'm going with this? You see I'm putting, there's a pattern here? All right. And he also brought up the fact that Elite Alvarez got injured. He lost a big payday to Badu Jack. And he blamed the Adonis Stevenson curse for that. Or he cited the curse. Whatever. All right. Okay. Well, if the Adonis Stevenson curse is actually a reality, then maybe the curse is responsible for why Adonis Stevenson has fought into obscurity for the last 4 years. Maybe the curse is responsible for why he's an irrelevant champion for a long period of time. Maybe the curse is responsible for why Andre Ward is now pound for pound #1 for beating the top light heavyweight in Sergey Kovalev, while Stevenson didn't do that. And he had the chance to do it, but he didn't do it. So it is what it is. Well, the first time around, I should say, 4 years ago. So let me go on and say this now. Now, otherwise, you wouldn't have come up with a secondary quote. If you feel as a fighter that you're not getting the fights in your division, then you should move up. Meaning, you should just prove how you realize he's being ducked by other fighters. No. Let me rephrase that. I said to you, low place, if you believe that he's being ducked, if you believe that. That's what I said. I didn't say he was being ducked. I said that you said he was being ducked. If you believe he's being ducked, then maybe he should move up and find other challenges, just like other great fighters have done. That's what I said. I never said that he was being ducked. Okay? This is your logic, not mine. Low place or Blackberry. Okay. Oh, my goodness. Simple logic. Okay. All right, what else you say? So in your words, this is what he replied to me. So in your words, therefore, Stevenson should move up in weight. I get what you mean, even if you messed up on that part again. Well, that's a problem. You're not understanding simple logic. I'll explain to you again. You said that he's being ducked by other top guys. I didn't say that. What I said is that if you feel that way, low place, then you need to tell Stevenson to move up and find other challenges. That's what I said. And I'll be okay with that because, hey, if you feel that way, cool. Go find challenges. Find some challenges. That's all I'm asking. There's nothing wrong with that. But you seem to have a problem with that. Okay? Now, my logic is you just can't complain about being ducked if you claim you are, which is not the case. Don't say you're being ducked and then you're not willing to find challenges. Don't do that. That's my only argument. Okay? Now, what else did you say here? I mean, Stevenson already moved up because he was ducked by top fighters. No, the only fighter who was ducked by Carl Froch. Who else ducked him at super middleweight? Who else ducked him? As I recall, Stevenson was still a prospect. The only time he became relevant when he became a mandatory challenger to Carl Froch. So other than that, who else ducked him at super middleweight? That was the only fighter was Carl Froch. But to be fair, Carl Froch was almost at the end of his career. So anyways, it is what it is. So again, let me know who were the other super middleweights who ducked him. Okay, now what else did you say? But while the light heavyweight division is getting stacked with heat, you suggest Stevenson to move up to a non-paying, non-action cruiserweight division. It's funny though, because low place crapped on the cruiserweight division. But you, Blackberry, all of a sudden do the same thing. What a coincidence. Now, first of all, the cruiserweight division, this is something, this is why you don't have much knowledge about boxing, even in its modern times. The cruiserweight division is very stacked. It has a lot of great talent there. You got, You know, you got Marius Breedis there, you got Machuno, you got Ilingo Magabu, you got Murat Gassiev, you got Denis Levbet, who's been a long-range cruiserweight champion, who's been in that division for a long period of time. You have Alexander Usyk, you got Glowacki there. You have Cunningham still hanging around there. I'm not sure if he's gonna, fight. I'm not sure how much time he has left. There's a lot of great cruiserweights in that division. A lot of great cruiserweights. A lot of great, I'm saying not great, but very good fighters there. Okay, a lot of good fighters there. So for you to sit there and say that the cruiserweight division is no action, not paying, then you totally don't know what's going on about the sport. All you're focusing on is one division, pretty much that particular division, because your boyfriend fights in that division, Adonis Stevenson. Okay, so let's go on and quote some other things there. Let's see. What for? The worst part is that you laugh alone about it, as if your quote has some sense. It does have some sense, because you don't understand the logic of my quote. Basically, you mentioned Stevenson isn't the cause of the failed negotiation. No, actually, he is the cause of some negotiations, as I mentioned earlier in this video. Okay, now, like I said, I'll be objective here. I'm not going to blame him for everything that goes wrong. No. Just like I don't blame Deontay Wilder for everything that goes wrong, okay? But the fact is that majority of the time, as I stated in my initial video, that you can't go around with a string of negotiations and feel that it's not all your fault. No. That's an unusual pattern. I can understand one or two situations fall through, okay? But not a string of them, not like 5, 6 of them fights that doesn't even happen. That's a problem. It needs to be called out. And it's a shame that you don't have the brain or simple logic to call that out, because he is your boyfriend. And it's funny though, shout out to P Money, by the way, because he also mentioned that it's funny ever since your other boyfriend, Javier Fortuna, got starched and got steamrolled by Jason Sosa, you haven't mentioned him ever since. But it seems to me, and you've been you're high on Fortuna. But the fact is that ever since then you've been clinging on to Adonis Stevenson. Well, actually, you know what? Fortuna's not Haitian; he's Dominican. My bad. my bad. But anyways, ever since then you've been clinging on to Adonis Stevenson. But let's go on and see what else you said here. Let me finish this up. Alright, so basically you mentioned it's not his fault and he's not getting the fights in his division that he's in. No. I said it is his fault. Majority of it's his fault, okay? See, that's your brilliant brain talking. Keep it that way, Daniel. Don't let your feelings run like that. Anyways, I know it's you, Low Place, because you're the one that called me Daniel yesterday in that hangout. Second of all, you also mentioned you put in a spiritual quote here to justify your argument. That's something that Low Place does with this Adonis Stevenson curse situation. You see, I know it's you, okay? And lastly, before I close out this video, just understand simple logic, okay? Don't twist the truth. Don't twist the story to fit your narrative. And again, just like you, Blackberry, Low Place, you're giving a guy credit for fights that he does not have. You cannot give a man an award for fights that did not get made. Okay, if that's the case, then maybe I should declare Eddie Booker and Charlie Burley as the greatest fighters of all time. Huh? Maybe I should declare that. Maybe I should declare Lloyd Marshall as the greatest fighter of all time, because those guys were severely ducked. But yet they produced Hall of Fame careers. You know why they did that? Because they didn't sit around in one division and complain about not getting fights, as they didn't do that. Obviously, Adonis Stevenson is nowhere on the level of those guys. No. What they did is that, when certain things couldn't go their way, they found challenges in other divisions. That's what they did. Again, if you claim he's being ducked, then you need to tell Adonis Stevenson to move up and find other challenges. That's all I said. Okay? That's all I said. But if you're not going to do that, then don't complain about fights not being made. Don't say it's not your fault. No. You're going to have to find ways to get these fights done. Because if you're not getting them done, I'm going to keep coming after you. I'm going to keep criticizing you. And I'm going to hold you to the standard like I've held to other fighters, just like Guillermo Reagan now. Okay? It seems like finally he's moving up to take on Vasily Lomachenko. He's going up to 2 different weight classes now. Okay? So, again, Blackberry, I'm going to make a deal with you, or Low Place. If you claim you're not Low Place, okay, Why don't you be a man? Why don't you have the courage and be a man enough to not disguise your voice when you do a video upload, okay? Just don't disguise your voice. Next time you do an upload, just tell us who you are. You don't have to show your face. Just tell us who you are. Just undisguise your voice. Don't hide your voice, I should say. And then that I can drop this whole conspiracy that you're not, that you actually are a low place. I mean, obviously I know it's you, but again, prove me wrong. When you do a video upload, just undisguise, don't hide your voice. That's all I have to say. I'm out.